Welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday show. I'm Lucy McMonagle. I am the host, and I am on a movement to create this world a better place. If you are listening to this, please make sure that you share this episode with your friends, your family, and your tribe, because together as a collaborative, we can all do our part to create conscious wealth, create conscious communities, and to make this world a better place. Stay tuned for our next featured guest. Hey, welcome to another edition of the Wealthy Wednesday show. This is your host, Lucy McMonagle, and today I'm so incredibly excited. We have Lightstar, who is a world-renowned high-frequency attunement artist, celestial channel, and a Starseed Ambassador. She is an author, she's an artist, and she's a creator of the most popular Magical Dimensions Oracle deck. And as a spiritual catalyst, she speaks over 20 languages of light, which transmit and activate soul memories and healing codes. So if you know that you might be a starseed, or you know somebody, make sure you have them listen to this, because Lightstar is going to give us some information about light language and how you can understand what the purpose of her speaking for. So Lightstar, welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday show.
Thank you so much, Lucy. It's great to be here. I'm really excited, and thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So you are so incredible. We've spoken so many different times, and your incredible visions and your artwork and your light language is so enticing for individuals who are waking up, who are starting to remember and starting having these healings done by you. But some people might not fully understand what is light language and what's the purpose for speaking it. So can you explain to our audience what is light language?
Yeah, light language, quite in a simplest form, is basically an energy language. So when we have language here on our planet, we have different languages and we learn them. We learn what A, B, C, D, the alphabet, and we learn how to string them together. And yet light language, or language of light, or universal light language, it's called many different things, is typically more on an energetic level. And so it comes in from the different dimensions and from different races. And it's not just star language. It can be elemental languages or frequencies, angelic tones or frequencies, and also from the star races and from different dimensions. So if you imagine we're expanding our light, expanding our own energy, and now we're bringing in new frequencies to the planet. And so light language is one of those kind of newer, it's not really new, it's just that it's newer for us because we're just starting to really kind of awaken here and remember who we are. But the languages of light are energy, and they are to really transmit and to be understood from a level of the heart space, a level of the inner space of love, and where energy resides. So it's very easy for people to want to listen and try to understand it from up here and in the mind and try to go word for word interpretation. But that's not really where it's meant to be best suited, because it does shift energy and helps to awaken people. So you want to actually just go here, because a lot of people do have the experience of, I know what you're saying, but I don't know it from up here. I know it from here, something inside just knows what that is, or just feels it and feels the energy of a transmission. So, and the purposes can be multifold. There are many different reasons for people utilizing the language and speaking it here, particularly here on the planet, because you could be using it for healing, you could be using it for blessings and ceremonies, or different types of energy frequencies, many different ways that people are utilizing it here, and everyone's kind of bringing in a little slightly different flavor to it. But it's mainly to expand us, to help us remember we are more, we are so much more than who we think that we are, and not to just tunnel vision. This is what happens frequently is speaking language or speaking light language, and people want to compartmentalize it and want to say, well, okay, that word means this word means that, and that breaks it into what? It breaks it into our 3D language again.
Yes.
And so the energy frequency is trying to expand us, and yet we keep trying to pull it back into, let's try to analyze it like a regular French, German, English, Spanish, and it just does not translate the same way. Sometimes it's only a tone or a frequency. Sometimes it's just one phrase that you say that actually speaks volumes of information, like downloads of information. So it's really spans the gamut of the purposes of what it is and why it's here, why it's come here, why it's becoming more widespread. That's kind of just the basics.
Yes, and it's so important to understand that one small phrase or just a few tones, it brings in volumes of information. And to try to break it down to the elements of the 3D language, it's kind of like taking away the power.
Yeah, it diffuses the energy. It dilutes more than diffuses. I would say it like dilutes the energy. And so, yeah, you get it not as concentrated because you've kind of diluted the whole thing. You're still going to get something from it, or still, it's not like it's gone forever. But yes, the people that are receiving, that I see, that are receiving the most benefit from being on the receiving end of light language is the people that just are able to kind of just let go, and they just open up to spirit. They, are able to just connect to their feeling senses, like the energy of, your clairsentient feelings, that, extrasensory perception. If you open that doorway to that one, those people really feel a lot and receive a lot and shift a lot. And I'm not saying the other people don't, but I just find that those are the people that really get it, is the ones that can really are the feelers of the world, the empaths of the world, which are quite a lot, intuitive empaths on this planet. It's quite a lot of that going on here. So most of those people really can open their frequency up and experience it. Because if you're only looking at it from up here, the thought processes, it's like you don't get it, you don't understand it, and it doesn't have the impact that it would have if you would open the energy field, which also opens the heart. And when you open the heart, that's when you really get it too, because this is a heart-based frequencies. Even though some of them may sound stronger, some of them have a very strong vibration to them. They are still all coming from a place of love, and even from, when I'm bringing through a light language, it's not really like I'm channeling a being or anything, although there are cases that I do, and I will say that that's one of them when I'm channeling a being, but generally it's a transmission of the energy.
Yes.
So I want to say it's almost like as if you picture like a group of beings, of high dimensional beings, and they've come into the frequency, and then they say, this is, we're going to share this energy and transmit it through this being. So I always say it's like I'm the tuning fork that kind of just is sitting waiting for those energy beings to kind of download that frequency. And then when it kind of hits my energy, it reverberates out to people so that they can experience it and feel it as well. So it's the best example of some of the ways of transmitting, because I like the word transmission of the language, or transmission of the frequencies, I think much better than just, speaking it, because it's actually doing so much more than that below the surface, energetically. And it's all coming from a place of purity and of love, and of, so a lot of the people that may have fear surrounding it or get scared, or I'm always telling people to put the love and the light of yourself and your energy, your higher self in your field. Let your own higher self share with you what it wants you to experience so that you feel safe, so that you feel like good in your own space. It's very empowering to do that anyway. And I always say to do that before you do anything. That's prayer, channeling, energy receiving, getting healings. That's all part of the basis of feeling stronger and feeling more empowered, that you're putting yourself in that position of receiving what is meant and right for you and resonates with you.
Yes, that's so true. That's so incredibly true. And you're also a renowned artist, and you created the Magical Dimensions Oracle deck. Can you tell us a little bit about what was the inspiration or the motivation for creating this incredibly beautiful and enchanting Magical Dimensions Oracle deck?
This deck was always really intended to be part of an oracle deck of some kind in the beginning, because what I feel that my energy was bringing at first was a bridge. I'm kind of this bridge, and we do have duality going on down here in this 3D zone where we're all residing. And so my feeling about the energy of my artwork is not only just depicting this beautiful, happy, loving light all of the time, it's also bringing in some of these shadow aspects that we have to deal with here and overcome in our life. And so it's helping to diffuse that, it's helping to transmute that. And so that's why my artwork is kind of varied in its content, because it's bringing those valuable type of energy frequencies to the planet here so that we can learn and empower ourselves to traverse over some of the stuff that we're dealing with, or we get stuck, or we get challenged. And so it was bringing in the light side and some of the night side, because it is both, and that was an important thing for my work. So for people that don't necessarily understand, if they pick a card, and it's not the most pleasant looking thing maybe, but if you read the description of it and the content of it, it's to help you to traverse over that, or to put the light. There's always a solution. There's always love and light behind all of it. But it definitely is helping to move people through the different dimensions and the different spaces. And I wanted to provide a kind of deck that would have all of it. Well, not all of it, but most of it. It's not just primarily a fairy deck or primarily an angelic deck or primarily galactic. It's kind of got all of that involved so that we have a good foundation of all of it. And that way it helps us to empower, again, ourselves. Because the main inspiration for people is to empower and enhance your intuitive and skills. So enhancing your own self ability to use your intuition, to strengthen your intuition and that muscle, and begin to build it and feel confident about your own intuition. That's really the core of it, is not to get reliant on it, is to utilize it and to build that muscle stronger. And I love it when people use the deck and then have their own interpretations of it. They don't even have to read the book, even though the booklet's like really great. It's in full color, which nobody ever does. So you can see all the art in full color, and it's great. But I like when people can bring in their own interpretations. That means you're really utilizing your own intuition, and your own gifts come forth. And all of the angelics, the elementals, and this galactics, which are the main three of this deck, help to work with people as well when they use the deck. So they're going to come in, and your own guides, your own angels and star friends and elementals and galactics are going to come in and be more in your energy field and help you more. So that was another way to bring that through. So I'm really excited. The deck has just been so well received, and people have just been really raising their frequencies by using this deck. So I couldn't be more thrilled. It's really great.
Yes, it's definitely an amazing deck. And you also have some starseed images that you work with. Can you tell us a little bit about the starseed images that have come forth for you, and how do you connect with the beings that you create in your art?
There's some really interesting how I create these images. So it's very different and unique, but anyone that goes through a creative process for anything, writing, art, music, you name it, there's always a certain process, but mine actually, I get a lot of these imageries coming through my dream time and also coming in waking state dream time. You know, sometimes it's almost you consider daydreams or visions or things of that nature that are even in waking state. So I've had, interesting, I had one story just quickly about it. It was really cute, but I had a dream about mermaids one time, and I didn't really, it's not like I love mermaids, it's great, but I didn't have like fascination with it. And so it was interesting to see them come into my dream. And in the dream, they actually provided me with my own mermaid name. And I was like, wow, thank you. That's really cool. I got my own mermaid name. And then it was an interesting dream anyways, but it was all about the mermaids. Well, a few days after that dream, I kept running into people that would be talking about mermaids out of the blue. And I would be like, God, that's interesting. And it kept coming up until I finally went, oh, they want me to create them. Okay, in an image. So I was like, I get the message. So they have come to me that way. That's one way. And again, in the dream time has been one of the most powerful ways. But some of them come in waking state, you know, and they bring through energy frequencies. So my star people images, I started doing a series of them, which I'm not quite done with. Well, maybe I will be. I don't know. This year I'll finish the series of them. But I started to get imagery of certain star beings that would come into my consciousness. And there are many different types of them. So I'm not saying that one image, one character is like the only one. You know, like say there are many different types of Pleiadians or Syrians. They're not just looking like that. But I had to make a decision, right, to create one. Which one am I going to bring through? And so they would visually show themselves to me in that way, either by vision or in the dream time. And then I would start to create them. And while I'm creating them too, they kind of interject. So I'll be creating and I'll think I made a mistake because it's all digital. So I'm like working on the computer with it. And it seems like I made a mistake. And yet it's like, I hear this, no, that's what it's supposed to be like. So it's like they correct some certain things that I'm doing if I get in the way of it. So it's very interesting, the process. But I've always been fascinated at the different ways that these images and these beings come to me. And they really are in real dimensions. You know, it's real. You know, these are real beings that want to come in line. And sometimes it's like I have a lineup waiting, you know, and I've had it happen too, where, you know, it's like somebody gets to know that, hey, this person does our portrait, you know, and then they come into the energy field and they're standing in line patiently, usually, until somebody goes, I need to step in front of the line because this energy needs to come forth on the planet. That has happened to me several times. So when the order that I have of doing my artwork changes based upon who's just stepped forward in line. So that has been very fascinating too. I did a dragon image that has been really widely popular with people. And that dragon was actually one that came in and actually did step in front of the line because there's some thing about dragons coming back onto the planet.
Yes.
And so at the time, I hadn't even had it on my radar. And so Valion, the wisdom keeper, is the name of that image, came right in front and not pushy at all. Very loving energy. I mean, surprisingly for this dragon energy, it was huge and big, but it was so loving. I was like kind of shocked, but yet it was like, this is needed right now. And so that's why I had to create that one. Because of that energy was ready. So I have to be a little bit flexible in my own, well, I want this to come out. And then yet maybe there's something else that needs to come before that. Interesting process.
It sounds like a very interesting process and
super fun.
and you have the ability to take these images and actually bring them into form where, you know, there's like me, I can see what these things look like.
Right.
But to even try to figure out remotely on how to I've tried drawing them when I was younger, and
Mhm.
I'm just meant to see them, I guess, and feel the vibration.
Well,
But
you never know, because gifts change as we move along. You never know what you're going to have come forth. I mean,
that's
believe it or
true.
not, very surprising things that you never think you would be able to do. I
Mhm.
feel that's what's coming onto the planet for all of us right now, is to understand that we're so much more than what we think we are, and that we can do much more than what we think we can do. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to be the artist and the musician and everything, but that certain skill sets that you may not think you even have, that you actually do have once you start kind of playing around with it. I think that's going to be a interesting eye-opener for a lot of us too. I know that has been for me, to even do any of this work. I never thought I would be bringing light language ever. That's not even something that was even in my radar, or even that I thought I could do, except for I was speaking one language since I was 9, but I didn't know what it was until much, much later. So I think everybody is really getting a dose of never say never.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a lot of different light languages that I've heard throughout the years. And even when I was, gosh, I don't even know how old I was, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I used to, I had this entire language that I used. And
Yeah, that's around, see, I said like 7, when I was about 9-ish. So
mhm,
I think, and I've talked to several people who do speak the languages that always kind of had one that they spoke around that age.
mhm.
So that age, we're very impressionable about that age as well. So it's a great time for that to come forth, even though we may not understand it totally then.
Yes, yes, that's true. And hopefully the caregivers of children who are bringing in the light language
Bring it.
aren't telling
Yeah.
them that they're speaking gibberish or to stop
Yes.
nonsense or and all that other stuff that some of the older individuals may have already gone through. And
Agreed.
so
Yeah,
what
I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish that, because we really need the people to understand this more, so that they can allow the imagination of children to come to the surface, because imagination is there. If you cut off that imagination, no, that's just your imagination. No, it's just, that cuts off all the creative and flow that children have, that we need to more enhance that and to, support it. I think
yeah,
that's really important.
that's extremely important. And with the creativity that will solve so many issues that we currently have in the world.
Mhm.
And with creativity that has solved so many issues in the world. And when you take it to a big level, this right here, this was through imagination and creativity,
Absolutely.
where now we're talking on little boxes that
Yeah.
are portable, and you can take them anywhere almost. And even if you're flying in an airplane at 30,000 feet, you've got Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that
The
20,
technology.
30 years ago? And
Yes.
so creativity it can come through art, through language, through technology, and
Hmm.
thinking of all of that. But more importantly, light language can also come through our energetic systems, and other individual calls call the energetic systems these chakras.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about how do you clear chakras with the light language, or is that even possible?
Oh, this is fascinating, because this is something that I do in my private sessions, that I have developed this system throughout my own process of trying to clear myself and center myself. And I generally wasn't having I don't know, I guess I wasn't able to do it as well by just sitting in meditation or something. So I started experimenting with this, and I started to bring in tones and sounds at first when I was going through my chakras and clearing, and I would just be experimenting with this. And since I was also speaking light language too, my guides and my own higher self started to tell me that, you can clear this with light languages, and some of them are associated with certain chakras, more attuned to certain chakras, or maybe one language actually is better at clearing it than the other one can clear this one. So I started to play with that and saw that in my own self before I even was starting to do this for clients. I was having profound experiences of finally getting that clarity, but also feeling a lot more clear and grounded and centered and balanced. And so I started to develop this. And so, yes, you can, the light languages that come through are like the transmission, but it's an energy language. And when I'm focusing on certain chakras and bringing through certain languages, it's going into the root, so to speak, of all what resides within that chakra, all the cells. I mean, we're talking physical level, the emotional level, and the energetic level, spiritual levels. It kind of hits everything that's kind of connected in there. Mostly things that you've been holding on to or attracted from other people. We've taken on other people's stuff. We hear that a lot, where especially intuitive empaths tend to take on other people's stuff and store it in your chakras. So when I actually create or speak the languages and transmit, it's like, this is how I describe it. Imagine there's like a geode, okay? You have a geode that's like a crystal is inside that geode, okay? You can't see the crystal. It's got all this like stuff encrusted over the top of it, right? It's protecting it, but it's like you can't see the shining, beautiful, brilliant crystal. So what light language does, when I'm speaking it in certain chakras, it will break this loose. It will start to kind of crumble the outer exterior of that, so that you can see that brilliant light coming forth with each one of the chakras. So that's my best metaphorical example of how this actually works. And people usually are taken into very high frequencies. Some of it is very clearing, when you're doing it. And then I have upgrades that, will upgrade the energy, because we all need to clear. We need to clear our energies, and a lot of us on a regular basis. It's not like you just clear it once and then you're done. You have to get used to doing a regular, especially those of us in this industry, which we all know. Yes. And a lot of your listeners are also healers and different psychics channels that also accumulate, and that we all have to release on a regular basis. Otherwise we kind of get, stuck, and we're taking on the brunt of it. So this is a great way to also do that constant releasing. It's very powerful, for sure.
Yes, that's really powerful. And you actually have an activation pack that you are helping individuals. Can you tell us a little bit about the activation pack and how individuals can get the guided visualization called the Galactic Shield and Reconnection Visualization?
Yeah, that's something I wanted to give out some free stuff. So on my website, there is a place on my, I think it's called gifts, on the navigation or on the homepage, it'll say it, where you can click on it. And I have a activation pack. It's about a 15-minute MP3 guided visualization, which is called the Galactic Shield and Guided Visualization. And what it does is it utilizes the blue frequency and the gold frequency. So blue light and gold light energy-wise. And it helps to clear a lot of the garbage in some ways. It's not necessarily, this one's not using light language, but it's using a guided visualization with the color spectrums that will guide you through and release your energy. And then it will bring in the gold light, which will enhance your frequency and connect you more with the creator source, with higher self, with higher energies. And it's great for people who have a lot of fears or who have a lot of doubts or insecurities. It's particularly great for going to bed before you go to bed at night. It's really good to clear that and bring in higher frequencies as well. And then I also have 7 of my art images that are for personal use on there that you can use for desktop wallpaper. So that also comes in the activation pack. And these are just my gifts to humanity for, you can sign up for my newsletter, which I don't send out super often for people. So it's not like you're getting it every day. But if you want to sign up for that, you'll get the link to download all the goodies. And it's just my way of saying thank you to everybody for, working on this planet and putting all the light workers and even people who just need assistance, that they can go and download that. It's really great.
Fabulous. So what's the website that they can download?
It's Lightstar Creations with an S on the end, .com. So LIGHTSTAR and then creations .com. So that's where you can find all my stuff.
Awesome. So it's Lightstar Creations with an S.com.
Yes.
Fabulous. Lightstar, I am so grateful that you have been on the Wealthy Wednesday show, and our time is just about up. Is there one last thought real quick that you
if I could just do a little frequency upgrade for you guys with light language, that'll be my signing off frequency, because they're not that long anyway. So again, this is for everybody, just to open your hearts and listen with the heart and not with the mind. I'm feeling Pleiadian energy coming through for the heart. This is to assist with this. So here we go. Milaya Kaila Sula Kalea Naihi Sheha Variara Naiha like Leas Ula Kalam Salami Utula Zveria Katin Suru Turiandaya Ololosho Marakaila Kelam Viritiar Naria Urosho Kukiar Mai Veresto Kuiara Naibarom Verisuhu Shihara Naihokuro Suparana Surei Tire Kurondarea Varan Seriara.
Wow.
Breathe in that beautiful love, heart, high frequency energies, and let it flow throughout your entire body and your entire field.
That was beautiful.
Gift.
Beautiful. Yeah, I could feel it vibrating, and then my crystal chest out of my chest started opening up, and wow, very powerful.
I feel it a lot too. So it usually opens up, and I feel the tingles kind of going through, usually back down my back area and my shoulders is where I usually feel the energy, and it's just really powerful. But really, it's a very soothing energy. They're actually, what I'm seeing with that is also bringing in a lot of frequencies of everything's going to be okay for all of you that are having trouble or having issues or challenges right now. That it's bringing you to a place of calm and to a place of peace, even just for a moment of that breath of relaxation, that breath of peace, to download that into your frequency to help with challenges as well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being.
Thank you so much for having me on here. It's just been a blessing, and such a sweet energy. I love your energy. Just it's like light coming off you. It's awesome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I really appreciate you being on the show, and I appreciate you bringing this incredible work into the world, because right now we are at that pivotal point, in my opinion, where we're choosing light or dark. We're choosing whether or not we want to continue this contrast.
Yeah. And I'm bringing as much as I can, and it's more's coming. That's all I have to say. More is coming, and for all of us, every single light worker, starborn, starseed that's out there, bring it, you guys. This is the time we need all of you to bring your gifts. So no more hiding. Everyone's got to come out of the closet, behind the curtain, behind the bed. There's no fear anymore. We've got to come out and do and share your gift, because every single person has that gift to the world. We need to see it. So bring it. Yes. That's what I have to say.
Yes, bring it. So
bring it.
So Please, if you're listening to this, please be sure to go to lightstarcreations.com. Get her free activations. Let her know that you heard her message and you're bringing out your gifts, because we have a choice to make this world an incredible, beautiful paradise where we can end poverty, we can end suffering, and we can bring in the light and the light language so that we will be able to have an incredible future for our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and more of the other individuals. So thank you for listening, and abundant blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another edition of the Wealthy Wednesday Show. I'm your host, Lucy McMonagle, and I'd really appreciate it if you would share this with your friends, your family, your tribe, and let other people know that the Wealthy Wednesday Show is creating a movement to make this world a better place. And we rely on you to get the word out so that we can create mass influence. So until next time, abundant blessings.